So what is going on, guys? My name's Ash and welcome back to a brand new FIFA 19 video. I hope you're all having a great day so far. I'd just like to thank you guys for your support on Wednesday's video where I uploaded a compilation of my best goals throughout this year on Ultimate Team, where most of my goals were scored in FUT Champions. There's quite a few nice goals in there. If you would like to go and check it out, it would mean the absolute world to me. There is a link in the top right hand corner of the screen if you would like to go and watch it. You don't have to, but it would be greatly appreciated. Anyways guys, the topic of this video is why so many players have lost so much pace in this year's FIFA. We're talking about FIFA 19. Like, we have players like Vidal losing 18 pace within 1 year. Now, I do believe there is a pretty good reason for this, which I am going to explain further on in the video. But before we get into today's video, guys, I would appreciate it if you could drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and also turn on notifications so you are notified when a video is posted, because YouTube is broken. But with that aside, guys, let's get into today's video. I think it's fair to say, for as long as I can remember, pace has been by far the most dominant and important stat within FIFA. What I mean by this is pace on a card will determine whether you will get the card or you will not get the card. Well, by get it, I mean use it in a game. For example, a guy could have 99 shooting, 99 dribbling, 90 passing, but have 70 pace, and for that reason, people won't use him. The reason for this is just pace is so advantageous in FIFA. It allows you to counter-attack people so quickly and effectively, and because of the style of game that FIFA is, you know, it's quite arcade-ish, pace really does help you out a lot more than you can imagine. Now, if we think about this with the inclusion of chemistry styles as well, such as Hunter and Shadow, where it boosts players, you know, pace by about 10, it really does make so many players rapidly quick, even if they're not in real life. So take Arturo Vidal, for example. Last year he had about 75 pace on his base card, and if you put a Shadow on him, he would go up to about 85, 86 pace, which makes him very, very quick and can keep up with like the top quick attackers within the game. What I'm trying to get at is, because of the addition of chemistry styles and players having around the similar pace, no matter what kind of player they are, it really decreases the variation within the game. Like, so many players are as quick as each other, almost all players are rapidly quick, and it just doesn't work like that in real life. So what I'm trying to get at is EA are trying to really distinguish the fast and the slower players to create a bigger gap between them, so there is a noticeable difference within game. For example, if there is a player with 97 pace and they're up against a player with 90 pace, there really isn't going to be that much of a noticeable difference. But if you put a player up with 97 pace against somebody with 80 pace, then there would be a considerable difference in game, because there's a bigger gap and there's a more noticeable, you know, change. So I guess what I'm trying to say is EA are trying to distinguish the really quick players and separate them from the not so quick players, so that there is a more noticeable difference in game, and players with very high pace actually have, you know, a unique speciality. Let's take Leroy Sané, for example. His card was just revealed on FIFA 19 as an 86 rated card, and he has 95 pace, which is probably one of the highest, you know, stats of pace that any player's going to have. Like, there's not going to be many with that stat or higher. So now if you go in game and use Leroy Sané, he's going to blaze past defenders because he's got considerably higher pace than them, because EA have lowered, you know, the pace of the majority of players in general. Now if you're thinking, oh no, this is going to be another pace abusing game this year, because there's not that many players with high pace, yes, there's going to be a lot of people that do use these players, but because there's not a lot of them, it makes a lot of the other players that you wouldn't use previously a lot more viable and usable in the game. Now let's take somebody like Michy Batshuayi, who will probably have about 80 pace when the game drops, and compare him to last year. In FIFA 18, you wouldn't see many people using Batshuayi within a competitive environment, because his pace wasn't sufficient enough to be a top striker, because, you know, the game was based around pace, and so many players had really high pace within game. Put Michy Batshuayi from FIFA 18 up against Arturo Vidal from FIFA 18, you know, Vidal would probably win. But if you put Vidal from FIFA 19 up against Batshuayi, Batshuayi has a much better chance of winning because his pace is considerably higher. So do you see what I'm getting at here? Players that don't have, you know, the highest pace and play in attacking positions may still be usable this year, because they're not just going to be outpaced by defenders and midfielders no matter who they are. Now, of course, there's going to be exceptions like Ruud Gullit, Patrick Vieira, but there always is. There's not going to be that many of them, though. That's the difference. If anything, it's going to make players like Gullit, Vieira, Ronaldo, all these types of icons and top-rated players even more expensive than they were at the start of last year, because they're so much more valuable than they would have been last year, because they're miles ahead of everybody else. It really creates like a big difference and a big gap between the top players and the not top players. So I believe the motivation behind this change from EA was to make other stats relevant and make players that weren't usable before usable. Like, who would use a Toni Kroos in FIFA 18? Nobody. But now Toni Kroos's pace isn't that different from somebody like Vidal, so people might decide to use him over him instead. And then there's also players like Milinkovic, Savic who have 69 pace. So all of these players are like really similar now, and it really gives players a bigger option and a bigger pool to choose from. I think the most important thing I can say though is these are just the base cards of players. I believe EA are, giving players lower stats on cards to begin with, so that when they release special cards or give like a certain player a lot of special cards, they can really improve the stats on each card. Like, if a player starts off with 90 shooting at the start of the game and proceeds to get 5 or 6 informs, there's not going to be a big difference between any of the cards because they can't improve the stats that much. But if you start a player off with like 80 shooting, 78 pace, 80 dribbling, there's so many different aspects of that card they can improve when special cards come out. It makes Team of the Season cards like really good at the end of the year. It makes Team of the Year cards really good. It makes Team of the Tournament cards really good. It makes Champions League cards really good. You get the point. It's really going to make people feel like it's necessary to purchase players' special cards over their base cards, because there's going to be a more considerable difference between them than there was in previous games. Now, of course, I don't work for EA, so this is just my educated guess, but I do believe there is, a strong reason behind why EA are nerfing, players' pace so much, and even other stats, but I'm focusing mainly on pace. Because, for example, there's absolutely no way Vidal has, slowed down by about 18 pace worth of speed in real life. Like, there's just no way that's happened within a year. Like, it just wouldn't work like that. He'd probably lose about 5 a year for the next 3 years instead. You wouldn't just lose 18 pace in a year. That's a lot of speed, There is a counter argument to that Vidal is getting older, but let's take Milinkovic Savic, for example. This guy is 23 years old, and he's lost pace on his card from FIFA 18. Like, there's no way he would have gotten slower. He's still a very young player, so there definitely is a reason behind, EA lowering players' pace so much. And I think, I'm right in saying that it is to create, a more diverse game. Because if I'm being honest, it is really frustrating, to know that there's really good players out there in real life that you just can't use their card on FIFA because, they just don't have the pace. Like, Giroud is a perfect example of what I mean. I think he's a really impactful player in real life. I think he does a lot of good things for Chelsea, yet you could not use him on FIFA because he's just too slow. So I'd really love for these players to be usable within FIFA 19 so that there's, there's more depth within people's squads, nobody's just rocking the same thing all the time. But yeah, that's just about it for today's video. So if you have enjoyed that part, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, so you never miss out on any videos like this one, and also turn on notifications so that you are notified when a video is posted. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what video ideas you have for me for FIFA 19 when it launches, so I can get right to work and, release some videos that you guys want to see, because I am 100% committed to grinding this game. I'm dedicating a lot of time to FIFA 19, that's a promise. But yeah, it'd just help me out if you guys could give me some ideas, because then I'm not completely in the dark when I get the game, because there's so much to make videos about that it's difficult to decide what you want to do first. I will be live streaming FIFA 19 when it launches. I'll be playing Divisions Rivals, I'll be playing a bit of Draft, I might open a few packs, I'll just see what's new and try out some new cards and just chill out with you guys and show you what's you know, what's good in FIFA 19. So you guys can go ahead and buy it if you haven't got it already. But yeah, man, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know if you guys are as well. Let me know what edition of FIFA you're getting, if you're going to buy any FIFA points, if you're going to do an RTG, you know, all that kind of good stuff. I'm really interested to see what you guys are going to do with this game. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you'll have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you all later. Peace.